Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the King YouTube channel. And that brings us all the way up to number 20. We've got Who Dares Windsors. So this was published in the Daily Mirror on March 4th of 2005, and it's a report focusing on Harry and William getting their own private secretary. Quote, a tough former SAS commando, Jamie Lawther Pinkerton. So Harry is claiming that he is, quote, very suspicious about these quotes from unidentified friends and ex-colleagues of Jamie's. But MGN has vehemently denied unlawful information gathering. Instead, they're claiming that Mr. Lothar Pinkerton's appointment was officially announced by Clarence House, and that's how they knew about it. Well, unsurprisingly, Harry also lost this one. The judge says that calls by journalists to Jamie Lothar Pinkerton following his appointment as private secretary to Harry and William are not at all suspicious. Well, again, it sounds like Harry's expectations of privacy are a bit unreasonable considering that he is a prince of the realm. He is a public figure. The next piece was again focusing on Chelsea Davy. So this was published in The People, April 24th, 2005, Chelsea's Gap, EIIR. This article is claiming that Chelsea was taking a gap year from her studies to be with her young royal lover, they wrote. Harry's claiming the level of detail in that story is, quote, disturbing, and also that copies of Chelsea and Harry's phone records were obtained. But MGN is maintaining that the info came from a news agency, that there's no evidence whatsoever of phone hacking, and that the details in the article were not even important. They called them, quote, trivial. Well, the judge decided that, in fact, Harry should win this one. The judge said it seems obvious that someone has had access to phone records and voicemails too to be able to report on this. But again, it sounds like it wasn't even Harry's phone that was hacked, it was Chelsea's. But is Chelsea going to see a penny from the money that comes from this case? Absolutely not. That's rich. Both she and Kate want to start over. Why would Catherine want to start over in her relationship with Meghan Markle, the narcissistic sociopath? Why would she want to open herself up and her family up too to all the harm that comes from being associated with Meghan and Harry? Those two are toxic. Being close to them is only going to lead to pain. And let's look at why Meghan is estranged from her own father. She is estranged from her own father because she wants to be estranged from him. She's the one who refuses to try to make peace with him. He has tried to reach out to her time and time again. I mean, it's really pitiful the way that he puts himself out there with these public pleas to Meghan, begging her to please just talk to him, to call him up. He just wants to meet his grandchildren. He wants to meet the son in law he's never met. But at the same time, we are supposed to believe that Catherine is the cold and cruel one? I mean, come on. Catherine has an incredibly close and loving relationship with her family. Looking at the relationships that Catherine and Meghan have with their own families is enough to tell us that Meghan is the one who has some serious mental health problems. It's not Catherine. Meghan is the one who has this pattern of using and abusing people, and then once they've outlived their usefulness, she throws them away. Catherine, on the other hand, has a very small, close knit group of friends who she has had for years. Catherine relates so well to people. She's authentic, she's genuine, and she's also got the good sense to stay away from a viper like Meghan Markle. And yeah, after thoroughly trashing the royal family for nearly 4 years now, both Meghan and Harry are trying to make peace with them because they realize their careers are over in America. They are desperate to get back in good with the royals because that's their only hope. It's so funny to me that Harry and Meghan thought the royal family was going to miss them so much when they left. They were going to be sorry. Well, no. The royal family has just gone from strength to strength, especially William and Catherine. I mean, just look at how well they're doing in the popularity polls, even in the US. People absolutely love William and Catherine. William is by far the most popular royal. He's even more popular than the president of the US, Joe Biden. And as for Catherine, her reputation is impeccable. And that's why even though Endgame absolutely vilified Catherine, it has done absolutely nothing to really damage her reputation. The insider in this article goes on to claim Kate may have grudgingly put the past behind her out of loyalty to the family, but William can never forgive Harry for the way he's thrown Kate under the bus. Of course, William can never forgive Harry for what he has done, and similarly, I don't believe Catherine can ever forgive Meghan either. Another big problem with this whole made up story is the fact that Catherine and Meghan were never close in the first place. It would make sense for Harry and William to at some point in the future reestablish their bond because, well, when they were younger, they were incredibly close. But Meghan and Catherine, no, it's never been like that with them. I think Catherine saw Meghan for what she was from the very beginning, and Meghan, in a very inappropriate way, was desperate to get close to Catherine. It put her off. Now, the insider goes on to say Harry is still incredibly hurt by how he has been ostracized by his brother. Oh, really? Harry is incredibly hurt by how he has been ostracized? What about the way that he made his brother out to be this vicious bully? Made it sound like William is this arrogant a-hole with a really bad temper. But oh yeah, we're expected to believe that Harry is so hurt because William ostracized him. So the insider goes on to say that Harry has demanded an apology from the royal family, quote, which he isn't likely to get, especially not from William. Again, why would the royal family, and especially William, apologize to Harry? What have they done that they need to apologize for? Absolutely nothing. The next one is an interesting one. So this was published in The People on May 15th of 2005. Harry Carey is the name of the article. And it's pretty easy to see why Harry was upset about this article. Remember, he pictures himself as this real life G.I. Joe. Harry believes that his time in the military was when he was the most successful, but this article brings all of that into question because it talks about Harry being let off the runs after hurting his knee. The story claims that cadets at Sandhurst were, quote, furious because Harry didn't have to run like they did. And Harry claims that he was, quote, not going around freely discussing any medical issues or injuries. And he claims the info definitely came from unlawful information gathering. But MGN is saying that a lot of it came from a confidential source, and there is no evidence whatsoever of any phone hacking. The judge ruled against Harry on this one. The judge said that Harry could not have reasonable expectation of privacy in relation to his ability to participate in fitness training at the military academy. And again, I'm sure the judge was right about this one. It was probably the other cadets who tipped off the press. It's another case of Harry expecting these details of his life to remain secret when he's pretty open about them. The next one is again centered on Chelsea Davy. So the headline was shell shocked. It ran in The People on April 9th of 2006. The article claims that Chelsea, quote, blew her top when she discovered Harry's, quote, boozy evening at a lap dancing club. I mean, honestly, the fact that Harry would want to advertise to the whole world that he even spent a night at a lap dancing club says a lot about who he is as a person. So Harry is claiming that it seems likely that MGN's journalist, quote, had access to one of our phone records to make the story. But MGN is maintaining that there's no evidence of phone hacking, and the info instead came from freelance journalists, one of whom used a confidential source and also a news agency. Harry ended up winning this one. So, according to the judge, the length and content of private phone calls between Harry and Chelsea following his visit to a lap dancing club are, quote, self evidently private in nature. But again, it sounds like it was Chelsea's phone that was hacked, not even Harry's. Harry also does his reputation no favors with this story. I mean, he was supposed to be loyal to Chelsea, and he's out at a lap dancing club. It's interesting how, when you really look at this, you can see a clear pattern emerge. In the pieces where the judge decided that there was unlawful information gathering involved, Chelsea is almost always involved, which makes it sound like Harry's phone may have never even been hacked. It could have been just some friends of his and Chelsea's all along. So the next piece is called Davy Stated, and it ran in The People on September 16th of 2007. The story was all about how Harry's relationship with Chelsea was in crisis after a string of bitter bust-ups. Harry is claiming the info attributed to a palace source was in fact obtained illegally, and that Harry and Chelsea's voicemails were hacked. But MGN is maintaining there's no evidence of phone hacking. Well, it sounds like there was some phone hacking involved. The judge declared that yes, details of fights between Harry and Chelsea were obtained by hacking of their voicemails or their friends' phones, and so Harry won that one. The next piece, I just laughed when I saw the title. The title is Hooray, Harry's Dumped. It ran in the Sunday Mirror on November 11th of 2007. And it was an article all about Harry going on a 2,000-pound vodka binge in a London club after he and Chelsea Davy broke up. So Harry claims that the paparazzi seemed to know exactly where he was, and he is wondering how that article could have known about his fallout with Chelsea. Well, MGN is claiming that the info came from a News of the World story, that in fact there was no phone hacking evidence. They're also insisting they didn't even know if a private investigator invoice related to that article in question. The judge sided with MGN on this one because the judge saw that yes, the story about Chelsea dumping Harry was first published by the News of the World. Stuff like this makes me wonder about Harry's lawyers. I mean, couldn't they have seen that the news story was first published by News of the World, and shouldn't that mean they shouldn't bother including it? I guess not. The next one, Harry lost again. The title was Down in the Dump, and it ran in the Daily Mirror on November 12th of 2007. So again, it was all about Chelsea and Harry breaking up. Harry told the court that at the time, he and Chelsea were not sharing anything with anyone, and the info could have been obtained through a voicemail. But MGN is saying, no, the information came from previous press reports, and it sounds like MGN was more believable in this one. According to the judge, the report of trial separation of Harry and Chelsea was lazy journalism. They were just copying an article from the Mail on Sunday. There was no way Harry was going to win this one. The next one Harry did win because it sounds like they did hack into Chelsea Davies' voicemail again. The headline was, okay if I drop you off here. It ran in the Sunday Mirror on December 2nd of 2007. The judge decided that the report that Chelsea Davies spent the night at Kensington Palace likely was obtained by voicemail interception. The next one, though, was another case of lazy journalism, according to the judge. The headline was Harry Fear as Mobile is Swiped, and it ran in the Daily Mirror on July 26 of 2008. It was an article focusing on Harry being pickpocketed in Lesotho while he was out partying. But other sources had already run this story, so again, I don't understand why Harry's lawyers agreed to include this piece. The next one is another sore topic for Harry because it deals with him being banned from going back to war in Afghanistan, in spite of the fact that he probably was desperate to return. It ran in the People, and the headline was Soldier Harry's Taliban on September 28th of 2008. Harry claims there's no way they could have gotten the details except through unlawful information gathering. And the judge agreed. The judge said the report of Harry being banned from undertaking a second tour to Afghanistan was likely the result of hacking and unlawful information gathering. The next one, though, is also about Chelsea. The headline was He just loves boozing and army. She is fed up and is heading home. It ran in the Sunday Mirror on January 25th of 2009, and the judge said, quote, in this frenzied atmosphere of trying to find out about the breakdown of the relationship, I have little doubt that the newspapers were trying everything they could to get more information. So Harry won this one, and it sounds like in this case they were certainly invading the privacy of both Harry and Chelsea. But again, I do wonder if it was Harry's phone that was hacked, or was it indeed Chelsea's? The next report was also all about Harry's romantic life. What a way to harry on was the title in the Daily Mirror on March 26th of 2009. Now, the judge claims, though, the report that Harry was openly cavorting with his new girlfriend, Astrid, in a hospitality box at Twickenham was lazy journalism. They were simply repeating information from the Press Association. But again, why did Harry's lawyers allow him to include this one? The next one Harry won. It was about a date that he had with the Gladiator star. It ran in the Sunday People on April 19th of 2009, and the judge maintained that info about Harry's dinner date with the TV star Caroline Flack probably was obtained from hacking. But again, it's unclear if it was Harry's phone or was it somebody else's. And the final one, Harry also won, because it was all about Chelsea again. The headline was Chelsea's New Fella, and it ran in the Sunday People on April 26th of 2009. The judge maintained that the story about Harry's bombarding Chelsea, asking her to resume their relationship, probably came from hacking and call data, but boy does that make Harry look bad. And it also really calls into question Harry's relationship with Meghan. One thing we certainly learned from Harry's experience on the witness stand is that he's not over Chelsea. He believes that she was the love of his life, which makes us ask the question, why are you with Meghan? And you, what do you think of this whole phone hacking case? Was Harry a winner or a loser? Please let me know your opinion below in the comments section. If you enjoyed my video, don't hesitate to like and share it with anybody else who would appreciate it too. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.